Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am really glad you're here. Today's date is Monday, June 12th, 2023. In this video, I want to take a look at a Twitter logo and see if there's some information that is pertinent to that using the tarot cards. You see, it is said that symbolism will be their downfall. This is speaking of evil. Well, symbolism isn't only what is used by evil. It may be symbolism, I'm thinking, and I want to check with the tarot cards about it. Symbol can also be applied to evil. So sometimes maybe there's now some symbolism in our world that is hinting at things that wasn't necessarily generated by evil, but symbolism, both sides can use the same tools. And I wanted to do some checking about this. Now, let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm sure, because I already know what thumbnail I'll be using on this video, you kind of know what I'm talking about. But let's go to a share screen. As always, this very short compilation will be available to you if you click on the Facebook link in my video description box. Okay, well, guess what? The Onward Together Association, which was started by Hillary Rodham Clinton, has this logo on Twitter. Right now, today, it is still currently their logo. Let's count the arrows, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. There are 17 arrows in this logo, and they all point to the right. Now, I also have some breaking news in the last few hours. Hillary Clinton has been apparently taken to the hospital with a sudden issue of some sort. And just for your information, if you'd like to see who name number 95 is on this list from the spa, there is a link there for you too. 95. Just thought I'd mention it. Go to 95. So let's ask the cards, shall we? It has been asserted time and again that processing has happened with a number of big names. And I just want to ask the universe, because you know what? The Alliance, the guys in the having been a former, I'm a veteran myself, and my father was a Marine, there is a dry sort of humor that high testosterone people have that is just, it's very distinctive. And I detected some humor with those 17 arrows pointing to the right for the logo. So let's just ask if that logo had anything to do with prompting by the Alliance and as a signal of some sort, and what type, if so. So the logo for that organization, was it, we're asking about the origins, and if there was an alliance kind of tie-in, maybe tell us more if so. Let's find out what the universe has to say. They may just have chosen 17 arrows all pointing to the right on their own. Let's find out. Again, we're just curious about the Onward Together logo, wondering if there was an alliance type of origin to it. And so is it a signal, a calm, and let us know a little more about it if so. Okay, we have the Three of Swords, Six of Wands, Justice, Page of Wands, Temperance, High Priestess, Queen of Swords. My. Okay, I'm share the what I'm getting from the cards, first of all, and then I'll show you the elements of the cards that lead me to say that. First of all, yes, indeed. The white hats had something to do with that logo for the organization on Twitter. And I mean, even if you can't read the cards, look at these major arcanas, they're going to kind of speak for themselves. Okay, well, first of all, I'm sorry. When I see cards like this for evil, it tickles me. I'm just delighted. Okay, the Three of Swords often shows up in my political reads when we are talking about the manifestation of a 2.0 or higher. And so, yeah, the original one has in the past faced justice. Just a nod to that because we're asking for insights. If so, all right. So yes, it's very true that number 95 on the list did face justice, okay? They have had a double standing in for quite some time. Now, in the current, we've got the white hats here that are, and by the way, when I say white hats, I mean the good guys, the side working for the light. I will never reference other. I know there's some people out there now pointing to the fact that there is a Masonic hat that is a high-ranking Masonic as a white hat. That's not what we're talking about. And that is just people trying to make people afraid to use terminology and words. Okay, so the good guys. When I say the white hats, I mean the good guys. All right. The good guys are symbolized here quite often with my Page of Swords. Now let's look at what this card is kind of about. Okay, I was talking about how that young, high energy, high testosterone humor is just kind of, it's so evident sometimes in the things we see, you know. And the Page of Wands often talks about enthusiasm and optimism. So again, we're getting a nod to, yeah, you know, guys, it's happened, okay? It's okay to be enthusiastic. And look, the situation's also being highlighted by the fact that this is a victory card. There's no other way to read this card, okay? So when we say or use the refrain, nothing can stop what is coming, or they say that, you know, we're just going through a movie now that it's already happened, that there's a timeline or two where things are already done, including ours, okay? This is a nod to that. Now let's look ahead here in the near future. We were asking about that logo and if there was symbolism to it. So let's look at what symbolism we can look for going forward. First of all, we need to be kind of moderate in our expectations. They're not going to use such a heavy hand in symbolism, and I'm speaking of the good guys, that is going to be that easy to pick these out. But occasionally they are going to let their humor show, and we're going to see those type of things. And as things come out more and more, it's going to be a little easier. See that when the High Priestess shows up, she is talking, she has some secrets, but they're just behind the veil. They're so close. Okay, got the stark duality here going on. And we have that too, because ultimately, while this is, again, it's all about the children, it's, do we want the children to be nurtured and cared for in the light, or do we want to let evil have their way with them? Okay, it's pretty much that simple. Now, looking ahead also, a little more information about the Temperance card. Like we said, we'll be seeing some more logos like that. That humor will be evidenced in other places, I'm sure. Let's keep our eyes out for them, because it raises your spirits to see that. To see that if the Clinton Foundation had no control over that logo, and that logo is speaking of 17 and facing to the right. Talk about symbolism. Wow. The Queen of Swords is clear thinking and very strong and patient. We have had to be patient. But it's hard for us who've been awake. Some of us have been awake for a couple of decades, okay? We have to reconcile with the fact that evil has had millennia to perfect their game plan, to put their assets in place, to infiltrate every level of power and authority on our planet, okay? So I think we're doing a heck of a good job in rooting them out and making things change. Let's get a couple more cards and see what they have to tell us. Again, looking at that Onward Together logo that apparently they had absolutely no say in the symbolism on it. Okay, we have a card here of the 8 of Pentacles and then the 2 8s, 8 of Wands. This is really fascinating with the 8s because when 8s show up, especially more than one, they're talking about an accelerated schedule of events. And then the 8 of Wands is always about fast moving events. Well, the 8 of Pentacles talks about very skilled, planned labor, and some of it's completed, but some it's still in the works. So look at that. We've got that things are accelerating. And we've talked about that, how that is why so many of the false floppy things are unbelievable now, because the timeline has been accelerated. That's why, you know, the governor of Florida was kind of forced his hand to announce candidacy before he was ready. It's false flags are happening so often and getting debunked so fast. They're just having to accelerate their timeline. And they're accelerating it because, again, nothing can stop what is coming. Okay, let's recap. So we were asking about the logo on Twitter for Onward Together, Hillary Rodham Clinton's organization, that is sporting 17 arrows all pointing to the right. I found it humorous, wondered if it was symbolic. And when we asked the cards about that, for is it symbolism and a little more about that symbolism, if so, first of all, cards decided to backtrack and just confirm for us that we are looking at a version 2.0 or higher for their founder. Okay. And if you don't, that is kind of over time has become my personal signal from the universe. But if you just look at what the traditional meaning for this card is, it talks about heartache and lies. And I think that that kind of typifies HRC in a nutshell. And then we were told there's been a victory. There has been a victory. Okay, that symbolism was celebrating a victory. Now, the victory was because in the past, justice has been served. In the present, very optimistic card of discovery showing up. And also, again, with that little white hat, the universe knows when I see that, I think right away alliance. Okay, but even if it doesn't, it's optimistic and discovery. Now, if you're a tarot reader and you read cards frequently, there will be times that you will get a unique meaning for your cards. I think any tarot reader that's been working for a while will confirm this for you. Now, if you'll notice, I don't have very many. The 3 of Swords is one, and the Page of Wands is another for white hats and then version 2.0s. Okay, but if you look at then the basic meaning of the card that those hinge on, it's not that different. So again, like I said, even if you look only at the traditional meanings of cards, they should kind of align with the information you're getting. Okay. Now, if I was to hold up this particular card and say, oh, this means a lot of joy is in your near future. Even if you didn't read tarot, you'd be going, huh? I don't think so. So I just thought I'd mention that. Now, when they can, when possible, there will be, we got within reason, here and there, symbolism will be used to kind of denote some victories and some advancements that are happening as we push the line forward. We've been told for a long time that we were holding the line. We were holding the line because things were happening behind the line. And now, over and over again, I'm getting some information that the line is moving. We can move that line and in a positive direction towards where we want. Where do we want? The very, very last post put out by a group that I can't mention on here. The very last word, the very last one that came up, haven't had a new one in almost 6 months. The word was ascension. And that is a moving onward and forward. And I think ultimately that needs to be where our thoughts are and where all this is headed. Now, it depends on your lens. What do you think of that ascension? Do you view it as the entire timeline changing and going to a higher vibration and frequency? in conjunction with possibly some events that our faith practices have told us to watch for? I don't know. But I do know that ascension means an upward mobility, an upward trend, and that is a positive development whenever that happens, as far as I'm concerned. And I hope it is for you too. That's it for this video. I thank you so much for joining me as I go down these rabbit trails and see if something that's made me chuckle might have some validity to it. And I just really appreciate your presence here very, very much. And I'm grateful that I'm able to remain on this platform, because some of the items I talk about can be a little contentious. And I'm glad that there's at least that much free speech allowed, that within careful parameters, we can discuss things like that. We got this, folks. We got this, folks. So hang in there. And until next time, I send you love and light and everything bright. Bye.